making the hinges. Toilet stove coming up. Just made the hinges, need to clean it up. Alright guys, I made this stove, and it's the first time that I'm working with metal. I'm still learning, and I built this stove, and now it's not done yet. I still have to add more sections to the pipe to get a taller chimney, and I'm also checking if I have enough ventilation air vents holes. So as it is now, I have two vents on each side of the stove, so four vents, and I'm firing it up now to see if I need to adjust or put more vents or even make an adjustable venting system. I will add more firewood in it to see it, it uh, how it processes the firewood. I'm just testing to see if I need more ventilation. So far so good though. Let's see. So I had to open the lid a little because the smoke was accumulating too much and killing the flame. But it just took a couple of seconds to get the fire going. And so this tells me that in the initial fire making, it does need a good airflow. And I have to solve this somehow. Either add more vents or add an adjustable venting system. I have to think about it. Okay, something interesting, guys. Notice how thick the smoke is, and the lid is completely closed, except for those venting holes there. And now let me open the lid just a little, this just to keep it. So there is a small gap here for more airflow. And now, see the difference? There's no smoke. Maybe you can even see the fluctuations in the air, the heat. So this tells me that I need a venting system of some sort, because I can't keep the lid open. I want to be able to use the top to cook on it and so. So I do need an additional vent. Let's see how to do that, where to put it and how to do it. But this was good. This was the whole purpose of me bringing out the stove to test it. All right. Hi everyone, my name is Vahid Kolsberg, and welcome back to my channel. If you watched the latest video I made about the snow plow, I also made a reference to this tent stove. And so yeah, this is a brand new tent stove that I made, and let's go through it. Okay, let's start from the top. As you can see, there is a cap on the top pipe, and I also installed a spark catcher. And further down, I made this collar that is also removable with some ears on it, and this is to secure uh, lines on 3 sides that would go down and secure and stabilize the pipe. And as a first segment of this line is just some fishing equipment. It's a wired metal line. There's some coated with plastic, and this I'm sure this maybe the heat will not be enough to melt the plastic, but anyways, there is a metal wire under there. And going down is just a simple orange rope that have anchored on 3 points, 3 sides, like a tripod. The whole pipe, I think the length from the floor to the top is 2 meters and 12 centimeters, I think 2.12 centimeters. And the pipe has 5 sections, and they are collapsible, and they all fit into one segment. And if you wonder about this particular pipe here, why it hasn't been painted, it's because this one in particular has a very tight uh, circumference, and I was afraid that if I put some layers of paint there, then it would be even too tight to fit into these other pipes. So this one is actually just about in the margins that it might not be able to take one layer of paint on it. So that's why I left it undone. Hopefully it will be fine. As to the stove itself, I designed it in the form of a toilet, you can see, just by the shape of it. And the reason for that is that you can also use it as a toilet. And once you're done, you just burn it and move on with your life. So it's a way to get some extra fuel when you are out there in the wilderness, especially in winter when you don't want to go out when it's minus 20 or 24 like it is now, and be bare naked out there in the snow. So you can do all your business in a hot tent. It's very practical. And so this toilet design that was originally initiated by the Swedish Army for 20 people in a tent. Imagine the amount of fuel that is contributed. So the Swedish Army being very resourceful in that way. So when you think of latrine duty in the Swedish Army, it means something else. The legs are in such a way that you can turn it upside down and collapse it onto the outside of the stove for transport. There are 4 vents that are permanently installed, 2 on each side, and additionally I have also installed some 2, 1 on each side of this adjustable vents. So there is a one on the other side as well. I also made this simple handle. Let me put on my gloves. And this is maybe a bit overkill, but it's to simply be able to open the lid when it gets too hot and you don't want to burn your gloves. And as another way to have a more functional stove is this ring that goes all around the stove. It not only just works as a place to hang your pots and pans and tools and whatnot, but what I have thought about this was also in the case I am in areas where I can't make use of the legs, it's too unstable, too much snow, or I don't have a platform to put the legs on so that it doesn't sink into the snow. I can always attach hooks onto this ring and hang it up from the top of a teepee shaped tent or lavu or some tripod structure shelter that I would just wrap a tarp or canvas around. So that's another reason for this ring that goes all around the stove, just so that I can be able to hang it up. If you're Swedish and you have been into the military service, you might have some nostalgia about the shape of this stove. And the truth is that I took inspiration from one of the field stoves there, which has a similar shape, but instead of being straight here, it actually goes diagonal, or what do you call it? And the pipe, the chimney, is placed more in the middle of the military stove, but I have moved it to the edge. And another difference is that where you feed it with firewood on the military version is just behind the pipe, a small opening, whereas I modified mine to be a bigger feeding hole, so just so that I can take larger pieces of firewood. And the stove itself from top to bottom is 40 centimeter long, but from diagonally I can make use of that space also by having longer pieces of wood being 40 centimeter straight. I can feed up to 48 centimeter that way. Now let's talk about the metal. The pipe is 1 millimeter thick. The body of the stove is 2 millimeters thick, and the top plate is a 3 millimeter thick. At the bottom of the top plate, I put this shield here, this segment there, and that is to cover where the hinges go, so that the shield goes under and prevents additional smoke from leaking out. You can also notice that I put this, what's it called? Is it a baffle? Some sort of plate that just covers the pipe hole. So the plate is under the pipe hole, which makes the smoke go around. And the theory is that the heat doesn't directly, the flames doesn't directly just escape through the chimney. If I had more time to work on this, I would have made a different version of this, where I put a plate all the way similar to this one somewhere here that runs down, and with an opening here, so that when I close this would lock itself under the pipe and keep an opening here for the smoke to actually have more distance to travel around and then up the chimney. But unfortunately, the last days I was in a hurry to finish this, and this was just a very quick rushed solution that I am not totally happy with. Inside is a grill to not have the firewood burn directly on the bottom of the stove, and also to help with the oxygen circulation from underneath. Okay, okay, bear with me. The stove is newly painted, and according to the instructions, uh, I don't know if it's voluntary or you have to, but it also says that to harden the paint you need to heat treat it in 200 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. And I don't have a ways to do that besides just firing up the stove, and hopefully that will do the trick, because I'm noticing that the paint is easily scraped off. So hopefully heat treating it will make it more stable onto the metal itself, onto the stove. So let's do that. Because it's a newly coated stove with a brand new paint on it, I better not stand too close to it. So in fact, I will just leave it for now and let it burn. uh, I don't want to inhale the the burning paint. So but we can see that the fire is going on. The vents that I put in there, that I is really working well compared to the tests that I previously did, that we could saw earlier in this movie. And so far I'm very happy with this. But I will let it burn now, and I'll keep my distance. So the stove has been burning for 3 to 4 hours now. The heat has not affected the fishing line, the plastic coated wire. The plastic is still on it, so that's good. It's burning wonderfully. There's no smoke. Maybe you can see the fluctuations seen better against the backdrop of the tree. You can also see the heat affecting the snow around the stove. The stove itself has taken a more deep black color. I think the coating is doing its thing. The heat treatment. It was more grayish before. Now it actually looks black. Okay, another thing I didn't bring up earlier is that because of the shape, because I feed it from the top, my idea was also to, the more you add fuel, the more you also collect embers. So let's look at it. Yeah, there is a good amount of amber. It's up to here. I just added this one. It looks burns very well. I've only maybe 1/3 open here, another third open there, and so it's really burning well, slowly and nicely. If there was a tent around here, it would be warm and toasty. Also, I don't notice the paint smell anymore, so I think after this wood here I will add one more, and that will be it. So you could see from this video, Riley, come on, come on. You can see from how this video was made that I use a lot of pictures and short video clips, and the reason for that is because I've been learning to do this at the course. I've spent about 4 months learning how to weld and using different welding techniques like MIG and stick welding and so on, and using machines like angle grinders and cutters and other machines. So I wasn't really able to film like I usually do. So I hope that you forgive me for this video, that it's very jumpy that way. But hopefully the whole video has conveyed uh, uh, the story of how this stove has come about. And I'm very happy you joined me on this video, and I wish you all good health in these times, and please stay safe, and I catch you on the next one.